Welcome back everyone, this is Mindy, and in today's video we are going to be making some Christmas tags. Now these tags are for the December 2019 challenge that I'm hosting over at Gina K Designs, and the challenge is Tag Your It. So it's create a tag for any occasion, and when you enter you're eligible to win a gift certificate for Gina K Designs. I'm going to start by showing you some of the products that I'll be using today. This is the decorative tag die. I'll also be using Christmas silhouettes. I'll be using the small flower and a small sentiment from there. I also have holiday trees. I'll be using a small sentiment from that. And then we have the delicate snowflake background stamp. For inks, I'll be using cherry red, jelly bean green, turquoise sea, and obsidian. I have some foam squares, the purple tape, and my dot runner. And a cardstock is going to be the sea glass cardstock and heavy base weight in white. And I also have here some sheer satin fancy ribbon. This is the white and silver 5/8 of an inch ribbon, and it is beautiful and perfect for tags. I am going to start my tags by creating the background for them. For this, I am going to be using the delicate snowflake background stamp. I personally like to use my Misty when using my background stamps. So I removed the foam insert from my Misty tool. I have a piece of sea glass cardstock here that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and you can see I'm going in a little bit from the edge. That way I get a really nice clean design over the entire card front. I'm going to stamp this background stamp in the turquoise sea ink. So I'm just inking up the entire background stamp there. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll close the door of my Misty and give that a really good push for a nice impression. Now you definitely can do this without a stamping tool. This is just my preference because if it doesn't stamp down all the way, I can always go back in and stamp it again. Now this, I did take another piece of that sea glass cardstock and did the same thing. To clean my stamp set off, I'm going to use my tidy towel, which I store in this cute little container from Make It by Marco, and I will go ahead and pop their Etsy link down in my video description. They have a lot of really great storage containers over there. Then I'm going to take the decorative tag die. I'm going to use the largest one off of here, and I'm going to put that down onto my stamped background. Now I can get 2 tags out of this one piece of cardstock. I'll hold that tag down with some purple tape. Notice that I'm not putting the tape towards the inside. I don't want to risk ripping my paper. Then I'm going to put this down into my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine, and I'll run that through. And I'll repeat this step until I have 3 tags die cut out. Now you can get 4. I was just going for 3 for my video purpose. So here's a look at our tags with these beautiful snowflake backgrounds to them. Now we're going to work on our flowers. So I have my white cardstock here. This is the heavy base weight, and this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I am using the Christmas Silhouettes stamp set. This is the smallest flower off of that set, and I'm aligning that onto my cardstock there so that I can shift my paper over and stamp 2 of them on this one end. So I inked that up with the cherry red ink, stamped that down, and you can see I'm just shifting that paper over so I can get 2 of them stamped down there. Ink that up once again, and then I can flip my cardstock, start back over in that corner, and then slide that over and stamp another one. And I will repeat this process until I have 6 flowers, because I'm going to have 2 per tag. For the leaves, my leaf is really conditioned, so I was pretty confident to stamp this with just an acrylic block, and it was a lot faster to do it this way. So I'm just stamping this down with one of the comfort blocks, and I'm using the jelly bean green ink to do this, and I will stamp 9 leaves. I'm sorry, correction, I need 12 leaves for my tags. So then I'm using the Gina K Designs trick. So I went ahead and die cut out one of these flowers out of just plain cardstock. I'm using this as a template, so I'm lining that up over my image. Then I can bring in my die and it'll fall into place when it fits perfectly. Then I can run that through my die cut machine. That'll give me the beautiful perfect edge all the way around. And I'll repeat this same process for all of my flowers and the leaves. When I have those all die cut, I'm going to move on to doing some stamping on my tags. So using my mini Misty, I'm going to line up my tag in the bottom corner there. And I'm using the Merry sentiment. This is off of the Christmas Silhouettes stamp set. And I will stamp this in the Obsidian ink. So I'll just ink that up really well, stamp that down. And if I didn't feel like I pushed down good enough to get a good impression, I will stamp it again. And I'll repeat this on my other tags as well. So kind of an assembly line you can get going here when you have all of your pieces kind of cut out like this. So since it's already, the sentiment's already in the right place for my tags, I'll just repeat that on the rest of them. Then I can clean that off and I'll work on the second part of my sentiment. I'm going to use the word Christmas, and this is off of the Holiday Trees stamp set. It's just a really tiny word. I loved it that small. And I'm going to stamp this in the Obsidian ink as well. So once I have that lined up, I can ink it up and stamp that down. And I'll repeat that for my other two tags there as well. After the sentiments are all placed, I will work on the assembly of the tags, which I had already kind of predetermined. So I'm taking the flowers, I'm going to have 2 of them per tag, and I'll have 4 leaves per tag as well. And I'm just going to use the Gina K Designs dot runner to attach those. You could also use the Connect glue as well. Now most of this, I'm going to use just the dot runner. The one flower in the front, I am going to add foam squares to. I thought that would just be fun to add a little bit of dimension to it. So after I remove the backing of the foam squares, I am aligning that so both of the centers of my flower are visible, because I'm going to be adding these dream drops in Gold Luxe, and I thought that was just a really nice finishing touch to the tag. It adds a little bit of shine to this, and they're gold, so it works perfectly in the middle. I would advise waiting to the very, very end to do this so you don't bump it while it dries. Now I'm going to come in and do the ribbon, so I would advise waiting for those dream drops till after you get your ribbon on there. This is that beautiful sheer satin fancy ribbon. And you can see it's got that beautiful white and silver on it. Perfect, perfect for tags. So I trimmed a piece off. I'm folding it in half. And then at the end where the loop is, I'm going to fold that in half again. And that's only because it'll be easier to slide through the whole of my tag. So I'm just going to pinch that, and I'll pop that through the top of my tag, pull that out just a little bit, and I'm going to open up that loop. And then I'm going to bring my loose strands through, and that kind of puts a cute little, I don't want to say bow, but it just kind of locks it into place. And you can kind of fiddle with it on how you want your ends to look. Ribbon, to me, kind of has a mind of its own. It doesn't always lay correctly, so do the best you can. And then you can trim those ends off to whatever length you prefer. Now, one last finishing touch I have are some bows. Now, I get asked a lot about my bows. Honestly, I cheat. I have a bow it all that I bought eons ago. So I dug it out for the Christmas tags, and that's what I've been making my bows with mostly. I have some bows that I bought from Etsy, but these in particular, I used my bow it all. Gina does actually have a video how to make bows very easily, so you can certainly check that out too. And I'm just attaching my bows with a glue dot, one glue dot, and then putting that right on the top of my tag. I hope you enjoyed today's tag inspiration. I will have all of the supplies listed down below in the video description and over on my blog as well. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so and would like to see more videos from me, and be sure to click that little bell icon so you're notified of when new videos are posted. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.